Ladies and gentlemen, the Houston Texans have just signed running back Nick Chubb. And man, this is a dream fit for both sides for the Houston Texans. And in this video, we're going to break down exactly why I believe Nick Chubb is that dream fit. No, they're not asking him to be a day one starter. No, does he need to be a day one starter? I don't think so. But he's going to be a tremendous 1B, okay? Look at this play. So they're going to run a system here where they boom, get there. They're going to pull this tight end. We're also going to pull this guard. We're going to send the center in this direction. And then we're going to boom, right? 11 personnel. Look at this run here by Nick Chubb. So the first thing we notice is one cut ability. Okay, look at his ability to read the defensive linebackers or defensive line and linebackers, but also have the ability to utilize his blockers. Boom, right? Use that one cut ability, knowing he's got a guard, kind of getting up, and then boom, one cut ability explodes through the gap and picks up about 14 yards on this play. Right, when you talk about adding a guy like Nick Chubb alongside Joe Mixon, who can really catch the football in the backfield, now you have a downhill runner who welcomes contact and, man, is one of the hardest working guys I have seen at the running back position. I mean, coming off that injury, no, he wasn't the same, but we have seen a lot of flashes that this is still a really good running back in the NFL, and welcome to Houston. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Let's break down some film. Another big time play here for Nick Chubb. Now again, we're in the shotgun. We got Nick Chubb to the right. All we're doing is reading and reacting to the defense. Look at this. We're going to fake outside zone. And not really fake. All we're doing is reading the defense. So we're looking at this linebacker here, right? He's got the ability to block up that A gap or to bounce out here to kind of like a B, C gap area, right? So boom. Right when we see that linebacker kind of overcommit getting to that outside shoulder of the guard, now we're going to one cut up the field, okay? Because look at the vision. Since this guy's kind of committed here, if we can, boom, one cut up this field, man, do we have space, right? And Nick Chubb still has that ability. Boom, one cut ability, and there he goes, right? Great job by Nick Chubb. I love the way, he runs, how patient he is, and coming into the season, yeah, you have Joe Mixon. Yeah, you drafted Woody Marks. Is he ready to be that 1B, 2A type of guy for this offense? I'm not sure yet. Now, Nick Chubb's only coming in here on a one-year deal, but I'll tell you what, him and Joe Mixon are such a good duo together, have two different games, and just add a ton of versatility. Now, last season, this Houston Texan team was ranked 13th in the NFL. Not bad at all, right? 13th when it came to yards per rush. Okay, Nick Chubb is someone that can help them this year. They also rank 15th when it came to rushing touchdowns per game. You're telling me Nick Chubb ain't gonna get a lot of Nick Chubb gonna get a lot of touchdowns in the red zone, okay? Maybe for fantasy purposes, Joe Mixon, it might not be the greatest for him, but man, I'll tell you what, to keep these guys fresh, going every single game, I love this addition, man. I really do. I think their rushing upside just went through the roof, allowing it to, make them a little bit more versatile and unpredictable offensively this year. Now, I know what you guys are going to say. How is he going to help out the running game when he's coming off an injury and, he only averaged 3.3 yards per carry last season? Well, let's be honest. The Cleveland Browns were not very good last year at all. The offensive line struggled. They had some injuries. Overall, they were just not good. Okay, but when you go back to 2023, I mean, the dude has never averaged less than 5 yards a carry outside of last season. Okay, and again, he has shown that vision. Now, if you were telling me right now that he was going to be the day one starter, the workhorse of this backfield, I would be a little bit nervous. But the fact that he's not going to be asked to be the workhorse of this offense, he can kind of work off of Joe Mixon. Yeah, that makes me extremely excited. Another good play here by by Nick Chubb. Single back set, pre-snap motion. We're going to hand it off to the left. Look at the blocking. Look at the vision. Look at the one-cut ability to get back up the field. That's the most dangerous thing in football. That one-cut ability. Watch this play one more time with that pre-snap motion. Boom. Get that block. We're forcing this DB down to the outside. We need to be able to cut and then boom, get up that field, that one cut ability. Great job. Create some more space, get about 6-7 more yards than if you potentially just went outside. again, I'm all in on this signing. Now, this is when I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? And make sure you guys do me a big favor, by the way. Hit the like button if you haven't already done so. Most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Guys, it is free. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. And we will be covering the Houston Texans and the entirety of the offseason. Now, you may be asking yourself, what does that include? Not only are we going to cover the entirety of OTAs, which I believe is about done for the Houston Texans, but also they get into mandatory minicamp this week. After mandatory minicamp, they take about a month off from practice before training camp. But don't worry, we're going to cover training camp as well. We're just getting started. But it doesn't end there. Once preseason gets underway, we're going to be breaking down all 22 coaches' film just like this. Just like this, okay? And not only for preseason, but regular season too. So make sure you guys do me a favor. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Join the family. Turn on post notifications. That way you're notified every time we post one of these videos. And with that being said, let's dive back into this video. Again, another play. Nick Chubb, one cut ability. I mean, look at that. Look at this, man. Look at the footwork here. And this is coming off an injury, right? Boom. Cut up the field. Boom, reads his safety coming down, utilize your blockers, get back to the outside, and then have a good amount of speed to pick up, what, 18, maybe like 15 yards on this play. I don't know, man. I'm in on it. I like Nick Chubb. He's had about 7 fumbles over 1,300 carries. Not bad. 6,800 yards, 5.1 yards per carry is what he's averaging. Also has 51 touchdowns on his career. And again, you bring him over to Houston to be a 1B type of player behind Joe Mixon. Gives Woody Marks a little bit more time to develop. You don't have to throw him in there right away. I will say one more thing. They do need to improve this offensive line. They have a ton of guys here that are going to, add some potential in Cam Robinson, Ariante, Ursi, Langer Tomlinson, Juice Scruggs, Jake Andrews, Jared Patterson, Ed Ingram, Titus Howard, Blake Fisher, Trent Brown. The offensive line, they have a lot of depth among this offensive line here in Houston. They got to figure it out. Okay, they cannot rank 30th in the NFL in QB sack percentage allowed. So we'll see what happens. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Join the family. Turn on post notifications if you are new. But most importantly, comment down a couple of words about Nick Chubb. Give me maybe a letter grade. And how do you think he's going to fit into this offense? I think he's going to fit really well, man. Maybe I'm just a little bit higher on Nick Chubb as a player. And I know he's coming off an injury. I know he's not the youngest guy in the world. But I don't know, man. In my opinion, how old is Nick Chubb right now? 29? 30? I don't know. I like Nick Chubb. I think he's a good fit for the offense. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.